Okay, we got a lot to talk about today, and I'm going to try to fit it all in one video. We got patch notes, we got reactions, we got things we didn't ask for. Hey guys, Nightfall here, and today felt like Christmas with all the news and updates we were going to get for XDefiant, and then when we unwrapped those gifts, slowly turned into every childhood Christmas where you got nothing you asked for. Maybe not nothing, but let's start talking about these patch notes, and I promise I go into them full of joy and anticipation and hopes that things get fixed and made better. But every time it just seems to get soured with almost every single line that I read. But let's go into them, talk about what each one means, and my initial reaction to a few of them. Up first, we got some gameplay changes. They finally fixed XP boosters wasting away in the firing range. Big W there. Should have never even happened, but at least it's fixed. They also fixed the vertical ADS sensitivity for controllers, so the up and down while ADS is more consistent with feeling like the left and right sensitivity. This was sort of annoying because if you had this issue and the aim assist going at the same time, it's almost impossible to pull up or down to recenter your aim without un-ADSing, so I'm really glad they fixed that. Then we get into the game mode changes, and by game mode I mean the rank changes. They gave 1.5 things I was asking for in my previous videos, and they fixed it so games won't start without a full team on each side, and even went a step further and made it so that the match will cancel if anyone leaves, I'm assuming by either dashboarding or Alt F4ing out of the game. And then the half thing we got that I asked for is a new game mode in Ranked. I thought it was going to be TDM, considering TDM's been out a little bit longer than Capture the Flag, but instead we get Capture the Flag. And I'm honestly starting to think we are going to need a playlist selection for Ranked as well, because maybe I don't want to play Capture the Flag in Ranked. Maybe some people don't want to play Escort or Zone Control in Ranked. And I also think this is why a lot of people leave before the game even starts, which I'm wondering if they dashboard or close the game before the game starts because they don't like the options to play. Will they still lose rank? Because there still isn't any sanctions for leaving a ranked game early, like a timeout before you can play again or anything. So if they can escape bad options without even losing ranked points, then people can still just abuse the system. So hopefully they can get something like that added soon, along with a playlist selection for ranked. Now we move on to factions, and we see that they nerfed the intel suit again and fixed more broken Spider-Bot stuff. You know, I fail to see how the intel suit was still a problem. Like, who is still complaining about this? So much so that it had to be nerfed again? I stopped playing Echelon after the last patch, so I mean, have at 'em, but this is getting ridiculous. Still no talk about a phantom nerf or removing their extra 20 HP. And before I move any further into these patch notes, because the next section is going to trigger me and some other people, we already covered all the rank changes coming in this patch. Now I'm recording this before the 1 PM Eastern Time X debrief on the rank that Aches is supposed to be doing, so my video on that will probably be out tomorrow, but we still see no mention of a faction or ability limit for ranked, which is kind of annoying because they keep saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming soon. But when is soon? Just wanted to throw that in there. Maybe that gets added, maybe that's a late addition. We'll see in the new X debrief that comes out today. But let's move on to the weapons section and be prepared to get angry. I'm going to read this one word for word as to not mess anything up here. The rapid fire barrel and muzzle booster attachments were causing less recoil on some weapons, such as the ACR and the AK-47, when they were supposed to cause more recoil. That's fixed. So this sounds great and all, and we'll have to test those tomorrow when the patch goes live to be sure of that, but my problem here is that this shows me that they have zero quality team, and all they're doing is just browsing social media and mainly just the larger content creators and listening to what they say and then running with it. And I say this because if they had any semblance of a quality team, they would know that this wasn't the actual issue. This was the issue that people like Exclusive Ace said that they had, and everyone else just sort of regurgitated that information and ran with it. The problem with these attachments is that the recoil was there on the weapons they mentioned, And actually, as far as I was aware, it was all assault rifles, but the issue was that the increased recoil from these attachments only went into effect when your right stick or mouse was being moved, and I've proven this on the channel a couple of times. So don't get this mixed up and think that I'm mad because they're not watching my content. I honestly don't care who watches my content. My content is for a niche amount of people who like to get down into the nitty-gritty of the game and critique the game because they want it to be better. But it's just annoying that they don't even do their own testing with these things, and they're just going with what everyone else says, what the masses are saying. And please, nobody take this as a knock to Ace by any means. I've made him aware of my findings, and he even acknowledged he saw it by liking the reply I sent him about it. Now, I don't know if he actually watched the short that I made that I sent him, and I don't think he made a follow-up video explaining that or anything, but he shouldn't have to, and neither should I or anyone else. But I'll leave it there. You take that how you want to take it. If you want to see the proof behind the testing, the real issue for those, I'll leave the link to that short in the description of this video, and we'll move on to the MP7, finally getting the nerf that we've all been waiting for. They reduced the fire rate and lowered the mag size. Is that enough to knock it off its throne? Not sure, because you can counteract both of those things with attachments, but only time is going to tell. Let me know in the comments if this is enough to get you off the MP7 and onto something else, maybe the MDR? Then we get into the shotgun extravaganza, as they call it here, and the M870 gets increased short and mid-range, lowered the sprint to shoot time, reduced hipfire spread and aim spread for both standing and crouched, and reduced the spread while doing all the fun movement stuff. So this shotty just got a massive buff, and I can't wait to get blasted away by it after just getting destroyed by the double barrel all double XP weekend long. The AA-12 got the exact same treatment for the most part, all buffs to this one as well, and then, oh look, speak of the devil, the double barrel shotgun gets increased range and more ammo, and better spread when crouch slide, in air, and mantling. Perfect. Just what I wanted. Then the sawed-off shotgun, which I'm sure only about 50% of the players have unlocked since it's at a stupid crazy level in the battle pass, gets a small buff as well. Shouldn't be game breaking. I mean, does anybody really use secondary weapons on purpose? Like, unless your goal is to level it up, like you go into that game saying, I'm gonna level up my sawed-off shotgun. Do you actually swap to it at all? I find I use any secondary I have equipped like 1% of all games, but let me know in the comments. Also, if you're someone who used the pistol grip or the laser attachment on your shotties, just know they reduce the bonus that you get by 5%, and they enlarge the reticle blooms while leaping, which I guess they mean jumping. And to start to wrap it up, your sticky grenades, or as some of you still hard stuck on COD terms, Semtex, will now actually explode as intended even after you die, which was so annoying that I was about to unequip them from all of my classes, so hopefully this is actually fixed. And then something with a second monitor and a cursor being locked that I won't pretend to understand that I know what this means because I just started on PC a few days ago. But then we end the patch notes with this gem, and they just had to end it with making me upset again. So they fixed an issue with players' kill-death ratio from updating properly after completing matches. This tells me that they've locked themselves in a room and turned off all social media and contact to the outside world after a certain point. Because it's not just the kill-death ratio, it's that whole career stats screen, and we've been saying this for weeks now. Why is that so hard to comprehend? If any of these devs actually played their own game for like a few hours, they would know this. But let me calm down. Maybe they just didn't say what they meant. Maybe the entire screen will get fixed tomorrow. So if you're watching this, I encourage you to go to your career stats page right now, screenshot it, and then tomorrow when you load in, compare it to what it says then and see if anything has changed. If nothing has changed, epic fail. But if your KD or the trend under your KD is the only thing that changed, then they did exactly what they said they were going to do and clearly have no clue that it was the entire page that isn't working and hasn't been working for weeks. So there you have it. Year 1, Season 1.3 patch notes review. I really can't wait to jump in tomorrow to confirm if any of this is actually fixed, because the first thing I'm doing is jumping in the firing range and testing out the rapid fire and muzzle booster. And hopefully the X debrief that we get for ranked with Aches today will be much better, because if this is all this is, just talking about the stuff in here, They severely oversold and overhyped this patch. Not even any netcode updates, which is kind of disappointing, but that's all for this one. I'll leave the link for the patch notes in the description so you can check those out for yourself. And if you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.